Okay, 8th graders, we're going to start Chapter 9 by graphing quadratics. It is important that you are using graph paper anytime we graph quadratics. Today we're just going to learn how to graph. Tomorrow you're going to learn how to compare two graphs, and then in the future we're going to have to learn how to find answers to a system of quadratics. So you have to be oh so precise. So if you don't have graph paper, push pause now. If you don't have any at home, you can print some from Google as well. Let's start by getting all this information written in our notes. 9.1, we're graphing y equals ax squared plus c. You can see that there's no middle term, no bx. We're going to go there later. This is what a quadratic looks like. It's a U-shaped. You will not have any straight lines, diagonals, vertical or horizontal. Quadratics are nonlinear functions that can be written in standard form. So this is usually what quadratics look like. We're missing that b term. And then when you graph, the shape of your graph is called a parabola. Once you have all of this written down, you can move on to the next step. It's going to be our goal to graph quadratics. So here's our equation, y equals 2x squared. We're going to graph this the same way we learned how to graph linear equations the first time around. That's using a t-table. And I'm going to pick some x values to plug in to find y values to create ordered pairs. You're going to choose 5 x values. I'm going to use the smallest numbers. Some people like to use 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. When we did this the first time around with linear functions, that's not going to work this time. Use these 5 numbers. To find my y values, I'm going to plug them into this equation. So I'm replacing x with -2 first. And use order of operations. Order of operations tells me to work with exponents before I multiply. This says -2 times -2, which is 4. If you're putting this into your calculator, use parentheses or your calculator is going to read it wrong. So if you don't use parentheses, you're going to get the wrong answer. This squared only belongs to the 2, not in the negative. That's how they got a -4. It should be +4. I'm going to move on to the next x value, plug it in. Again, -1 times -1 is a +1. Now I'm going to plug 0 in. 0 times 0. Plug 1 in. 1 times 1. And then plug +2 in. Now maybe you're looking at this chart and you're going, oh, I see a pattern. It's repeating. Yes. You should see repetition here. I'm going to graph this on the coordinate plane. I see that my y values are all positive. So I'm going to make a graph that looks like this. Because I'm going to go up by ones, I'm not going to label my x and y axis. I'm just going to graph. So -2, +8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. -1, 2, 0, 0, 1, 2, and 2, 8. You are going to be using your ruler. You have to be so precise with these. You're going to use your ruler to make the x and y axis, but when you go to draw your parabola, you can't use your ruler because it needs to be curved. So don't use a ruler from this dot to this dot and this dot to this dot. It should be curved, like a U shape. I would like you to try this equation. Try y equals x squared plus 1. Push pause, try that now. Let's try it together. So I'm using 5 values. Everybody's going to use -2, -1, 0, and 1. And I'm plugging these 5 values into this equation to find my y value. Let's start with -2. -2 times -2 is 4, and 4 plus 1 is 5. Now I'm plugging in -1. -1 times -1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Plugging in 0. 0 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. Now I should start to see things repeat. 1 squared plus 1 is 2. 2 squared plus 1 is 5. Again, if you're not seeing numbers repeating, you did not do it correctly. My y values are all positive again, so I'm going to make my first and second quadrants larger than my third and fourth quadrants. And I'm going to graph these ordered pairs. To look like this. Let's try one more. Push pause and try this problem on your own. Okay, compare your work to my work. -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. -3 times -2 squared. Start with your exponents. -2 times -2 is a +4. -3 times -1 squared. -1 times -1 is a +1. 0 times 0 is 0. And it's good that I'm seeing these repeat. Okay, this time my y values are negative, so when I go to draw my graph to save space, I am going to make the third and fourth quadrants larger than the first and seconds. Do you have to draw a graph like this? No, you could make all 4 quadrants equal. I'm also not going to go by 1s on the y-axis. I think I'm going to go up by 2s. And anytime you make a coordinate plane and you're not going up by 1s, you need to label it for the person that's correcting it, or even for yourself in case you forget next time. My x value, or my x-axis, is going to go up by 1s. It's okay that you go up by different patterns on the x and y-axis, or intervals is the word I'm looking for. -2, -12, -1, -3, 0, 0, 1, 3, and 2, -12. It is okay that your parabola opens upside down.